What book should I read? Ooh, maybe I'll read this new and exciting book I got last week. It's so cute. Maybe I'll read that, but I still have that awesome series I need to finish. Ooh, I'm so excited. Wait. It's summer. People are gonna want romance. Maybe I finally read Emily Henry? People would click on that video, right? I think. But I don't feel like reading it. There's so many other books that I want to read, but they're not romances. What do I do? Okay, fine. I will just read a popular book, and maybe people will click on my video. I don't know. We'll see.
I have come to realize that Booktube has ruined my reading. You see all these booktubers, even like new booktubers, their channel's a year old or 2 years old. They're doing all these fun reading challenges, they're reading popular books, they're venting about all the books that they hated reading or read a crazy erotic space alien thing week after week. I have been trying to join this rat race, needing to read popular books, needing to read books that I won't enjoy, to make a video for entertainment value. The sad part is like, no one told me to do this. I'm fortunate enough that my platform is, I don't know, I think it's pretty big. I'm almost at 10K, which is ridiculous to me. But no one ever told me, hey Jess, you need to do more. Hey Jess, you need to make crazier videos. This is the assumption I made because this is what I'm seeing online. This is what I'm seeing be successful. And I think the saddest thing about Booktube, Bookstagram, Book Talk is that it's becoming a business. I've completely forgotten why I started my Booktube channel back in 2018. It's been a very long time that I've had this channel, and I really enjoy watching my very first video that I uploaded. It was like a 24-hour readathon back when it was like read by Zoe, back in a great Booktube era, when I wasn't thinking about making money or sponsorships or Patreon or any of these things, because I knew Booktube wasn't my job. I enjoy reading. Actually, it's not that I don't enjoy reading. If you've watched my dyslexia video, which I will link above, I am dyslexic and I never used to finish books. In high school, I don't think I finished a single book. I spark noted everything because I was told often that I was stupid. I very much believed I was stupid. I was that kid who was probably reading Dr. Seuss until 4th grade because I couldn't bear the thought of trying to pick up something more challenging because I thought I would fail. And for the most part, I did. I would cry during tests to try and get out of them. I'd try and leave school early with a tummy ache. And then in high school, I just avoided all the work by taking on different responsibilities or cheating. I don't recommend because it's made life hard, and now as an adult woman I was like, ooh, reading is such a part of life, especially as a creative, which I don't think is mentioned enough. I am an actor. So hi, if you don't know, if this is your first video watching, hello, I'm Jessica Nicole Dickerson. I'm an LA actor and creative trying to balance life and diabetes and depression and multiple hobbies. So there's a lot going on in this happy corner of the internet. We are doing our best. I'm personally doing my best to have a content life, a happy life, a full life. Not too sure yet. Not too sure what word fits best, but I'm trying to get there. I'm trying to be content and for the most part happy, because I only have one life and I want to do my best to enjoy it. But going back to everything being about money and going back to the story about why I brought up I'm dyslexic and everything, as an actor you are given scripts all the time. You have to be able to read them on the spot, and I remember my very first time working on a play and I had to read through the script and I sounded like this, and they thought I was acting like this, and that wasn't the case. That was just my reading pace. So I realized how important reading was. So in college, I challenged myself to start a booktube channel because I found this beautiful community on the internet that loved reading and supporting one another and did so many fun challenges. And I just wanted to be a part of it, and I was like, you know what, this is perfect. This aligns with my acting interest. I love being in front of the camera. I love creating stories, telling stories, and I want to get into reading. And I challenged myself basically to read 12 books in a year, and I did it. And then I progressively read more. I think the next year I read like 50 books, and then I had my first 100 book year and another one, and then I had a 70 book year. And then last year, I don't even know how many books I read. I kind of stopped counting, but my average was maybe 3 or between 1 to 3 books a month. So as you imagine, you see this steep incline of like, wow, she's doing it, she's killing it. And then I don't know where it's like, it almost is around the same time where I'm started to recognize I'm not doing Booktube for the same reasons that I used to, for fun. Just documenting myself trying to read more and being artistic. I was trying to monetize this, which is ridiculous because this is a hobby. And it sucks that we consumers, because we live in a capitalist society, we are constantly told that, well, if you have a hobby, you should monetize it. If I have a platform with 9,000x people, I should be trying to sell a product to you guys, and I should be trying to make money, because there's no reason not to. That's a dumb waste of time. And with the increase in living expenses, I have student loans, I have rent, I have medical bills, being diabetic, therapy, all these things that I'm trying to just maintain life. Like, my ability to maintain life means, in LA, it means that I need X amount of money every month. And instead of trying to do these 40-hour weeks, 2 part-time jobs, acting, and having to figure out my schedule and all this hustle, it's like, oh, make a product and blow up on the internet and be famous. And that idea used to align with acting to me in my head. I was like, oh, this could help my acting career. But I actually think it hasn't helped at all. I think it's ruined a lot of my joy. The joy that I had for reading, the joy that I had for content creating. So Booktube kind of ruined my reading. But I totally blame myself and the idea that I have. But I don't think it's just me, because I think a lot of us in the community feel this way, this need to perform. Like, getting 100 views is frowned upon. Like, oh, she only has like 100 views? Ew. But I thought about it, and I saw so many reels and TikToks about 100 people is so many people. 250 people is so many people. Like, that's a college classroom amount of people. Like, even up to like 1,000, 2,000. Like, it's insane to have these numbers and to devalue them so much. YouTube makes you feel like, well, you got 100, you need to get 200 next. Oh, this video only got 100, whereas your other video got 300. What are you doing wrong? It's like, there's so much pressure, besides societally, to do well and to publicly perform well. There's also this pressure to like continue to grow. Like, oh, I hit 1,000, I need to hit 2,000. And then it's like, oh, I'm getting stagnant, I'm getting the same views every week. Like, what's wrong with me? To question yourself and your value all the time. And we do that not even just on the internet space, but just in life in general. And for some of you, especially in the States like me, you're like, girl, there's bigger fish to fry. I completely agree. I'm voting. Please vote. That's all I have to say. Please vote. Scary world. But getting back to it, I do want to enjoy my life, and I can try and impact the world in my own little bubble, which I think is what I'm creating here, this community of really kind, like-minded individuals. And I hope to continue spreading that, and I hope to get more into just the fun of creating again and sharing what I love. I guess that's the idea, is like, oh, life would be a little bit easier if I had $100 more a month or $1,000 more a month. My life would change. But I don't think I want to put that pressure on my joy. Because what is life if I'm just working 24/7, grinding 24/7, trying to outdo myself all the time? Like, even if you're just competing against yourself and your numbers, that's so exhausting. So exhausting. I like can't fathom it. I guess this is a very long-winded story to say I'm gonna try and make a change. We'll see if it sticks. I have fun books to share. I've bought some books. I've stolen some books from my mom. Thanks, Mom. I've gotten some new books gifted. I have a lot of books that I'm excited to read. I've read some disappointing books, and I think I just want to start this journey kind of not over again, but I just want to take it easy. I put so much pressure on like making every video so flashy and amazing and sexy and chef's kiss. And because of that, I stopped doing them because I was being a perfectionist. And I don't think that's the point of YouTube channels. I don't think there's supposed to be a like TV production quality. It's just like literally like, okay, I got my phone, let's record something funny. Like back in Vine days. Poor little Vine. It went bankrupt, but you know what? It's because it wasn't trying to sell us anything. And I wish so heavily that it still existed, because TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, I would love them to be just casual again. And I'm always considering deleting Instagram, but then I think career-wise, I'd want people to know me. I'm a nobody. I'd like them to see my profile and be like, oh my gosh, she's so cute. Let me put her in a movie. So it's tough, and I imagine even like an average creative person is like, well, let me create a platform, let me start up my own business. This is the only means of making immediate money without having to sell my soul to some other company like Amazon or Disney or whatever. Just so much, just so much, and I don't want that for myself anymore, and I don't want that for you either. So I'm gonna attempt to make content here just very simple. And by very simple, I'm like, probably won't put ads up. I probably won't post like super exciting challenges. Reading 30 books in 30 days. I did that challenge twice. Playlist link down below if you want to see it. I don't want to read books just for a number count, because I find myself not enjoying them. It's very hard to grow as a person and as a reader and in my own opinions in life while rushing through just content to get through it. It's not enjoyable. I have so many books on my shelves and I keep thinking about it, and I know I've done so many unhaul videos. I have a haul, I have ideas for unhauls, I want to do new bookshelf organization. I have a bunch of stuff that I want to do that I will share with you in due time. Because I also felt this need to do like a summer series where I finally read Emily Henry and all that stuff, and that's where the inspiration came from for the little short film I did at the beginning of this video, because that's what's always happening in my head, instead of like, ooh, I'm reading this right now, which actually, let me show you what I'm reading right now. Currently reading The Atlas 6, which you might notice, yes, is from the library. We love the library. Because I'm tired of spending $30 on one book and then not enjoying it and then trying to resell it or donate it or what have you. And there's a lot of books on my bookshelves where I've read them and I'm like, is that worth $30 whole? No, library. This specific author too, where it's like, I enjoyed one of her books and she has another book on my shelf where I'm like, didn't enjoy her very much. So I'm gonna try and read the whole series through my library and not buy it, and just see if after a few years it's like, oh yeah, I remember that series. Do I actually need to own it? You know what I mean? Why do I want to own a book? Because I don't think I want a giant library. And I've known that for a very long time, but I still behave like a consumer who's sad and buying way too many books. That's how I'm behaving. I'm not calling anybody else out. That's me. I am also rereading Stanford Meisner's On Acting, which is a very good acting book. Highly recommend if you're an actor. You can also do some acting book recommendations. That would be fun. In an ideal world, I would be reading a fiction and nonfiction every week. I would still like to read a lot of books every year. Like, I'd love to read 2 books a week. That would be crazy to me. But I'm definitely just not in the headspace right now to do it. Besides the fact that there's a huge financial burden on my life currently, where it's like, just everything costs so much, And I'm even grateful for my family to be able to help me. I'm grateful to have a roommate in LA and be able to split rent. I'm so fortunate, and I'm able to chase my dream as an actor and still do fun things like this. So I have so much to enjoy. So I don't want to steal my moments of joy worrying about money or numbers or any of that stuff. That's how Booktube ruined my reading, and I guess the one thing I'm thinking might change my reading journey, is reading for myself. I guess I don't really do that too much anymore. Every time I picked up a book, it had a theme for a video. And though it was fun for a very long time, my tastes have shifted, English, and I don't think I want to consume so many books just to like forget about them right away. I'd like to spend more time with each book. And oh, that reminds me, I actually really enjoyed Skin and Bone by Renee Watson, which I talked about in I think another video that I did. I dog-eared so many of these pages. Like, wait, I have to make sure you see this because this is necessary information. Can you? Aha, there you go. Look how many dog ears. I dog-eared so many pages, which I know, profanity. Oh, some people just quaked in their boots. They're like, how dare you dog-ear. I love to dog-ear. I love to annotate my books because the books that truly speak to me, I would reread. Actually, this author is the reason why I actually really enjoy reading. I feel like this is the book that I am known for on my channel if you watched me back in the beginning, but Piecing Me Together by Renee Watson is like one of my all-time favorite books, next to like The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo or Dear Martin by Nick Stone. Those were just pinnacle books that I was like, that's the first time I felt seen, that I felt understood, that there's such a deep-rooted love and connection. Rooting for the character, feeling like the character, growing with them, resolving like internal turmoil with them. I saw so much of myself in Piecing Me Together. And when I heard that the same author years later writes an adult fiction book about a plus-size woman and her daughter and their life together, I was like, ooh, let me check this out. And it had a lot to do with faith, which is an interesting subject for me because I'm trying to develop more faith and hope in humanity, even if the media doesn't reflect that. But having more faith and hope and walking in that realm rather than being like everything's gonna go to hell and everything's gonna burn. Because I'd rather live in the world where I'm trying to do my best and trying to do better than living in a world where I already think it's in flames, so I don't do anything to improve it, if that makes any sense. But recently loved this book, highly recommend for anybody. I mean, I honestly think everybody should read it, especially because of just the fat representation of Black women in any sort of field of work. It's just, it was touching. It talked a lot about love. A Wednesday kind of love is my favorite quote from this book. I'm just trying to find a Wednesday type of love. As someone who struggles romantically, I felt this. Oh, and I guess the last thing I'll talk to you about, because I'm very excited for her, is One of a Kind by Nicola Yoon, which she's a very popular YA author. She's done like, she wrote like The Sun Is Also a Star, Dancing, Introduction to Dancing. She's written a couple things, and 5 feet away, window, some with like someone had to keep their distance. So this is her first adult novel, and this is giving Get Out in a special like Black utopia world where it's like these people who are very like, I guess, liberal and Black go off into a society to do their own thing and live their own lives, but they're not really fixing any of the problems that we have systemically in the world. And it's a short one, so I'm really, and oh my god, this is stunning! Stunning! Very excited for this. It's gonna be a good read, and this is the kind of stuff I'm like being drawn to right now. Oh, the Atlas 6. Oh, I am 240 pages in. I'm enjoying this immensely. This is giving me like, there's some steam in here that I was not expecting. Not expecting that steam. That level of steam was insane. But I'm loving the premise and the plot, because I think Olivia Blake has such an interesting way of putting science into her novels with magic on top of it. Like, it's giving sci-fi but fantasy at the same time. Like, they're talking about how they are physicists, but at the same time, like, they can manipulate the space around them because of their magical ability and understanding of science. And like, now they're trying to figure out how to time travel and or go through a black hole and craziness. Like, that's such as like that's the subplot is like science, but the main plot is these 6 people. It's very what's it called, The Secret History. It's dark academia-ish. The Alexandria Library, 6 students are chosen, 1 will be eliminated, all this stuff. So it still has really high stakes. The characters are super interesting, but also kind of elitist and kind of annoying sometimes. But some of the characters make sense. I love being in their heads, and they're also like telepaths, and there's just a lot going on. And I've only read 240 pages, and I'm so excited to continue that series. But yeah, that's me as of late. How are you doing? What are you reading? What do you want to read? Let me know what you've noticed about your reading behaviors, because I also kind of stopped using Goodreads and like other trackers because I felt that I was pushing myself to read more, not for my enjoyment, but for numbers. So I'm gonna try and take a step back and just be me. Ugh, scary, right? I'm just kidding. It's a little tough in the real world, being vulnerable and stuff, but I think that's kind of what life is supposed to be, is figuring out who you are and not being afraid to stand in that and have your own power and being like, I'm okay being me. Weird, right? That's it for today's video. If you want to subscribe, sure, go for it. If you want to like, ooh, thanks. If you want to comment, oh my god, wow, that would be so nice. Wow. It's insane to think of anyone commenting on all of my gibberish. But I'd just like to hear back from you guys about what you're doing for your reading, how you're trying to figure out how to enjoy life more and things, because I think this is a time in the world where we all need to just kind of listen to each other, kind of care for each other, be kind to each other. That'd be nice, right? I'll see you in the next one.